Hey guys, Indy here. My January update coming a little bit late, but not as late as I have been, so improvement. I'm going to try to post multiples and just be really short with each one. So, uh, small life updates here first. I'm now working outside the house. I rented an office. This is not my office. This is one of the empty offices nearby because mine is really nothing more than really honestly, a storage room that has a desk in it. So it's completely blank behind me and everything. Um, and we're rolling the dice on my next contract. The wife has left the workplace. The kids are not in daycare. We were getting sick constantly with the kids bringing things home. So that was just becoming, and we were spending tons of money eating out all the time because we weren't disciplined or had the energy to do cooking and stuff like that. It was just like, we're going to save a lot of money, be happier, and actually be more free in our schedule if she just comes home. So we're rolling the dice on me getting the next contract. It's a good dice roll, 80-20, 90-10. We're confident, but you don't know what the future holds. So life's been having some changes and stuff. That's really what kept January from happening for some part, just all the sickness and doing everything. And then February, we're preparing for her to leave and the kids coming back and blah, 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 blah. So here we are at the end of March. Things are settling down. Here we go. So what has been Indy's life lately for role-playing, and what thoughts have I had? All right, let's start the first thing, and you'll see the next video for the next one. I did run a one-shot of Rolemaster Unified, still beta rules, back in December. I think it was in the week between Christmas and New Year's, so I do believe I had bought the RMU core. Hey, if you didn't know that yet, RMU is in production. Unified was supposed to be a test name from what I read in the forums a long time ago. I guess since they've been testing since, like 2012 or whatever, they just decided it was, ingrained enough to just go with that. So it is RMU. It's on drive-through RPG only. Or RPG drive-through, whichever way it goes. Drive-through RPG. PDF, I don't think the print is out yet, but it is supposed to come out later. I haven't finished going through those rules. I'm around talent so far. I wouldn't say there's any major differences so far. I scanned the skill costs, if I remember correctly. I scanned the skill costs, and those were the same as the last updated, which was an image, not the PDF. If you have the latest, which was like July 2016 PDF, it came out later as an image. Those were the same. The skills split up, and their skills was the same as the latest image update. The only big, I wouldn't even call it a big difference. The biggest notable thing that I noticed is that they went from like 7 races described to like 15 or 20 or something. I don't know. It was a lot. And they did that, they said, so that some of the talents that you would spend points on for adding into characters could be described there rather than whenever they come out with creature law. So they were just trying to, because creature law is like nearly 1,000 pages in its unedited format, so they're just trying to move some of that space over. But more importantly, so I hadn't finished reading those rules yet and finding the differences and stuff like that. I was under the understanding, because this is where we're getting into the session I ran. I was under the impression that they were going to update the weapons tables and provide more variants of the same, like based on sizes and stuff. I didn't get to that part yet, so when I ran my little one-shot session, it was all with the same old RMU prep. I had 4 players. I actually don't remember anymore. One of them being the gal who I introduced to Rolemaster, what's actually now 2 calendar years ago, or introduced to role-playing with Rolemaster about 2 years ago. And I'll tell you what, the biggest downfall, and this is all I'm going to say, the people had a good time, but the biggest downfall was me not remembering to do size adjustments for crits and damage on the weapon table. So like the first encounter, they're encountering -1 size. Let's just say -1 size. I can't remember if the normal human size is size 4 or size 5, but whatever. -1 size goblins, which should have been on par for the halfling character, but a +1 size increment, or a 1 size difference between the elf, the dwarf, and then the enemy goblins. And I forgot about that, and so I was just rolling straight up. Look up the attack table, apply the things, and one of the PCs died. And it wasn't until after that I realized, oh my gosh, I've been doing this all wrong, which also means you guys shouldn't be as hurt, and blah, blah. And it was just, we're just introducing them to the system. So I was like, you're alive, you're all fine. Forget about wounds or whatever that you took, injuries. Let's just keep going. But that is the biggest thing, right? So my understanding is that they were going to do something like that with Arm's Law or not with Arm's Law, but with the weapon tables in core when they went to production. If they did not, that is really awkward. And I would dare say that what they really, really need to do is provide just a skeleton document, whether it's fillable PDF or Word document, Excel, whatever. I mean, you could also make your own. Don't get me wrong. You could make your own document to be the basis of a weapons table, right? So that you can at least go through and say, hey, look, in my campaign, this person frequently has size adjustments. Maybe you've got a halfling in the party, and so they're always attacking up a size. I need to provide them weapons that are down a scale. Or maybe you just provide them the weapon table for a smaller table, even though it's a bit different, a different actual weapon. Whatever. I think they really need to provide us that, because that was the major hiccup in running that, is that with my time away, I totally forgot about that, and it really made that first encounter, I wouldn't say depressing, but it definitely gave the wrong first impression, making that mistake. And that new players to Rolemaster, people who are actually new to the system, or not even new to the system as a series, but any Rolemaster system before, they didn't have to do size adjustments. They're gonna make that mistake at some point. A good 50 to 75% of us are gonna make that mistake, either because it's completely new or you've been gone for a while and you forgot. So it still went fine and dandy. The gal who I'd roleplayed with before picked the spellcaster, so she got to do some spell casting. But yeah, that was rough. And I think that is so far, that is the biggest major thing that either hopefully was solved or needs to be solved. Right, next vid.